but they still thought it was representative of what they'd been doing. So that's all good. In an interview he gave with Musical Express in November, Page stated, okay, in November 76, Page stated, the song remains the same, is not a great film, but there's no point in making excuses. It's just a reasonably honest statement of where we were at that particular time. It's very difficult for me to watch it now, but I'd like to see it again in a year's time to see how it stands up. So anyway, and he wound up doing just that. Okay, Page made good on his promise. When reviewing the material for Led Zeppelin's DVD in 2003, he decided to include footage from this same series of concerts. Okay, however, other members were a little harsher. Okay, less charitable, I should say, with Jones later admitting that the film was a massive compromise, and Plant denouncing it as a load of bollocks.
You have to understand, Jimmy Page eats and shites Led Zeppelin. That's his baby.
Yeah. I know.
And since, Bonzo died, the band broke up. He's always been a staunchest supporter from as far as any past members going. That's his Mona Lisa. Led Zeppelin is his great work, and it's not all just his great work, but it was his vision. He was their producer. He's
Right.
one of the best, and I think the best lead guitarist on the planet, with the best vocalist, the best bassist, / shortstop on a team kind of guy you could have with John Paul Jones, who could arrange orchestra, read music like he reads a novel, and John Bonham, the greatest drummer to live. And
Okay.
so, but it's still Jimmy's baby. It never really evolved away from that, with the possible exception of the Into the Outdoor album.
In a review published in Mojo magazine following the film's 2007 reissue, James McNair gave the film 4 out of 5 stars, and he wrote, "The good news is that Jimmy Page and his fellow production wonderkind Kevin Shirley have been meticulous as regards to the quality control." Okay, the 3-night July 73 stint at Madison Square Gardens that fueled the film's original soundtrack has been plundered. In truth, 2003's DVD package houses better live performances, but if you want to catch Zeppelin in all their preposterousness, because we can, glory, in all their preposterousness, kind of because we can be that way, right? Glory. The song remains the same is the one. So, comments, guys?
Oh, I agree with his assessment. I liked it.
I do too.
When it came out, I went with my wife to go see it. We were slightly enhanced, and I was grooving. I thought it was like,
Yeah.
But I was a major Zeppelin fan, and
always have been myself. Always have.
I had actually, while I was a teenager, had got to see. Very few Americans had got to see the Beatles' Magical Mystery Tour film, and the Norman Greenbaum, who I have known in and out through many years, the singer for Spirit in the Sky, had a small club in my hometown, and he had secured a slightly illegal copy of that. So I went to his club to watch that. So, I found that just, enhanced, of course. And,
right.
It was wonderful. So this was I love these kinds of films, more topsy-turvy. And it is, matter of fact, the film and the album. And I'm going to shut up here, but Chris and Nick and you, Royce, what do you guys think about this? I think this is a magnificent monster that Dr. Frankenstein created. It's stitched together in so many ways, both the film, the way the film was edited sound-wise and visually, right? And the album, where went back into the studio, and Jimmy would drop in the root notes just for a few seconds on every time that riff happened. Well, that never happened live, but see, it's stitching of, and it's a wonderful cacophony in that way. What do you guys think of it, like being a Frankenstein monster?
No,
because I think that's what it is.
Do you? No, I just don't have any complaints. I mean, it's Led Zeppelin.
It's a beautiful monster. Let me make it clear. It's magnificent.
I just don't have any complaints. There's good and there's better and there's best, but when it comes to Led Zeppelin, their good is better than most everybody else's.
Well, look at Coda. Any other band would have given their eye teeth to put that album out. And everybody's pretty much agrees, that's not their shining moment, right?
Right.
Well, I think the song remains. It's kind of par for the course. A lot of the live albums there, they kind of stitch together stuff from the studio and whatever. I mean, there's not too many that you can say aren't. I mean, to some degree or another. So I think,
for example, McCartney's Wings Over America is a live album that's known to have overdubs, but so few that it's considered a very light touch live album. This one does not have that reputation. No.
Yeah.
And who really cares?
Like I said,
it's wonderful.
When I listen to the album, I thoroughly enjoy it, and when I watch the movie, I thoroughly enjoy it. That's all I can say. I mean, there's not a lot of stuff I'd rather watch on TV when I find that and can watch it.
I remember when Jimmy Page turns around in the meadow and his eyes glowing. I mean, it went right through my brain. That's the wizard, man.
Right. And you can imagine, I mean, watching that gangster thing in the beginning, with Peter Grant. I mean, I'm probably the biggest Godfather. Hey, Nick, how about you? Any comments?
It kind of leaves nothing to the imagination what is about to happen. We know we're here for a rock concert. And I heard that song was actually inspired by them. They were partaking in the bus or the room, I forget which, and they were relaxing, and Jimmy had popped on some of Little Richard's music, a video, and he's like, "Yeah, that's it," and he just kind of fell back and said, "Yes, that's how we're starting." That's my understanding, but there's no apprehension and no guessing what's about to happen, which is the most beautiful thing.
Well, then you got the right intro. It's the "all right, let's go" before it kicks right in too.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. Michael.
Yeah, that was Bonham who says that too.
Yeah.
It's as a matter of fact, on this album, the one I think the superstar on this album is John Bonham, Bonzo. He's the engine for this whole 3-night performance. Everything depends on him and his timing. What better way to kick off the album to prove that exact point than Bonzo leading the way, because physically, when they played physically, he was the mighty freaking engine to that Zeppelin, right? He drove it, and he drives it well on this album. I listened to the album last night and this morning, and that was the one thing that popped out on this album to me on the last 2 listens was John Bonham's drumming. Not only powerful, but almost mistakeless. And they couldn't do a lot of editing with his drums, you see.
Yeah.
And they didn't. You didn't need to,
One thing you're going to hear a lot of when you're listening to Led Zeppelin is John Bonham's amazing drumming. And what I really enjoyed about listening to this song remains the same. There was a lot of really, very loud and clear bass lines, that weren't being lost in the mix. I mean, John Paul Jones did a great job on these songs.
This excellent album sent to me by Royce for all of you who were were late to the show. Isn't that wonderful of him? But this is the live album I prefer. I think Chris does too.
I do too. Yeah,
you know,
it's crazy good.
It's just so grooving. You know, the whole thing's got a groove. I love the track listing, the way it comes on. You know, nothing needs to be rearranged or that should have been put on earlier in the album. It's perfect.